Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering Tennessee and Virginia suing the NCAA. Then we'll be talking about the Big Ten and the SEC. Then later in the show, we're going to be discussing a woman who climbs through her window after forgetting her keys. And then, as always, at the end of the show, we'll be talking about the oddities of the day. Before we start, I would like to ask that you like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. First off, you start off and I look and I see the glare coming off my head. So I'm grabbing the towel. I'm like, gotta take some of the shine off. So behind the scene, just taking a little bit of that gloss off my head.
He was buffing it out for you guys before, make sure it looks good for you.
Squeaky clean. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Yeah, it's Monday for sure.
It feels like a Wednesday and Groundhog Day all at the same time.
No. I actually had a good Groundhog Day. I enjoyed Groundhog Day.
Oh, do you want to share with the group, or is that
I just, I partied a little bit on Groundhog Day.
Okay, that's the weirdest party ever. 4th of July party, Halloween, Groundhog Day parties. I've never been to.
And honestly, my definition of party is I had a couple drinks and watched the Never-Ending Story on Friday. That was my party.
Girl, you are setting the world on fire.
I am, yeah.
The Never-Ending Story.
Yes. It's so
I think
good.
I'm the only person on the planet who's never watched it.
You've never seen the Never-Ending Story?
I have seen little bits and pieces of it. Like, you're flipping through, but never watched the whole thing.
You have to watch that.
It doesn't grab, like the little clips I see.
Good.
It just don't grab me.
It's so good. I love movies that like incorporate like the cool puppets, like anything Jim Henson has worked on. I've seen it. Like I've seen Dark Crystal, I've seen Never-Ending Story, I've seen Labyrinth, I've seen like all of those movies.
Okay, then it's not a movie, it's a television show. Have you ever seen the show Farscape?
No.
See? That's an entire series with Jim Henson puppets.
No, but I remember like
and my favorite sci-fi show of all time.
I don't know if like when it started, but there used to be like a reality competition show that was people built Jim Henson puppets. I loved that show, and I can't like find it anywhere now. Like they stopped doing it, but I can't find like old episodes to watch.
It was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
I remember that. Wow, we just learned something about Faith. I remember seeing that, movies. Never watched a second of it.
Well, only the cool puppets, though, not the scary puppets,
See, I think you should check out Farscape. That is Farscape. As far as the puppet world goes, that's about as far as I go. That was kind of a cool sci-fi show. It's a little dated now.
Yeah.
But yes, that's one of my favorite sci-fi shows.
I'll have to add it to my list then.
All right.
All right. Well, let's just dive into it. So Tennessee and Virginia are planning to sue the NCAA. The attorneys general of Tennessee and Virginia filed an antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA on Wednesday that challenged its ban on the use of name, image, and likeness compensation in the recruitment of college athletes, and in response to association investigation of University of Tennessee. It seems like a lot of stuff is going on.
Oh, right, girl, that's an understatement. That is an understatement.
With the NCAA and the name, image, and likeness stuff. It seems to be a lot of colleges are dealing with this right now.
Because they didn't really put in any rules or regulations with it.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I don't know if I'll let you read more before I dive into it. Is there anything else you wanted to say about it before I dive into it?
Um, the lawsuit filed in the Eastern District of Tennessee seeks to undercut NCAA rules against recruiting and claims the association is enforcing rules that unfairly restrict how athletes can commercially use their name, image, and likeness at a critical juncture in the recruiting calendar. The lawsuit is based around an ongoing NCAA investigation of the University of Tennessee's and their collective SPRY sports group, which was reported to have violated the NCAA's name, image, and likeness policy that forbids discussion with future student athletes regarding name, image, and likeness compensation. The current policy aims to reduce inducement and curb the proxy-free market agent created by the transfer portal. Tennessee's posture remains that they have been fully compliant with the name, image, and likeness regulations. So,
Okay. First off, the NCAA they institute the whole name, image, and likeness program with really no guidelines at all. They didn't want to fight about it in court any longer. They just said the heck with it and just let it go. Mm-hmm. And then they gave very loose guidelines, but nothing really concrete. There were no rules. Then I felt like the NCAA decided that, you know what? We're going to pick on someone. We're going to use Tennessee as our test balloon, and we're going to go after them for name, image, and likeness rules, just kind of showing, kind of like being able, trying to do a test balloon to see how they could regulate name, image, and likeness. And I don't think the NCAA thought about it, nor do I think they ever realized that Tennessee and Virginia were going to come back and pop them in the nose, because that's exactly what happened.
I don't understand. You're saying that it was all just kind of like loosey goosey, there wasn't really
it was incredible. It is.
And so now they're just deciding, well, that's not what you're supposed to be doing, so you're gonna get in trouble for it. And Tennessee is just like, no, we're not doing that.
And it was kind of like a soft test balloon that they kind of came out and said, we're going to investigate. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee said, oh, hold my beer. They were like, we're suing you.
Yeah.
The NCAA was not prepared for this. And then Virginia jumped on it. And guess what? Right now, it's just Virginia and Tennessee. But do not be surprised if more states don't start jumping on this. Before this goes to court, I could see like a ton of other states jumping in on this. And this right here has like massive ramifications, because if the NCAA fights it, I think they're going to lose. I don't think they stand a chance in heck of winning. NCAA has been losing consistently. So I don't think they have a chance of winning. Every team in the country that's a Division I school, a Power 5, Power 4 school, is doing just this. Kids are coming in saying, okay, I want to come here, but how much am I getting? Hey, this school said I'm getting this much. Are you going to match it? Are you going to give a little bit more? Every school in the country. And for the NCAA to say, hey, Tennessee, there's no real rules. And we're going to go after you before anything was ever said. And we're going to investigate you. Mm-hmm. And Tennessee's like, no, you're not. We're going to sue you. And if the NCAA loses this lawsuit, I feel like it's already the beginning of the end of the NCAA as far as what we know it.
It seems like the NCAA has been through like quite a few lawsuits.
Oh, and there's more coming. They've
already been through quite a few, and like you said, there's more coming. So either why don't you write stuff on paper if you want people to do something specific, or don't worry about it, because you can't say oh, Tennessee, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, when it was never really like said that it was an issue. But
Worse
also
yet than that,
only like getting onto Tennessee, like not
every school in
telling
the nation
everybody
is doing
else.
this.
Yeah.
Every school in the nation that is a Power 5 program, and we still using, because they're talking about previous, that includes the Pac-12 as well. But every school is doing this, and they're trying to regulate things after the gate's been open,
Right.
and everything has happened. Now we're going to try to home it in. This is one of those situations where if a judge rules in court in favor of Tennessee and Virginia, and I think, mark my words, there's going to be 5, 10, 15 other states that are going to join on to this. The power to NCAA is already, it's going to be over. They will have no way to regulate name, image, and likeness. Our next topic coming up it bleeds into this. They're similar stories, but separate stories. So I'll elaborate more on the second story. But this situation, picking on Tennessee, I think they thought Tennessee would just take the investigation and the sanctions, whatever sanctions came down, because they would be minor. But no, they're saying, no, you're not going to come after us and go after us. And especially when you're talking about, this could be major violations on something that every team in the country is going to do. The best thing the NCAA could have done is just came out and just said, listen, we want to put together a forum and we want to vote on rules to regulate name, image, and likeness. But the only way to do that is to collectively bargain a name, image, and likeness policy. And that would consist of the NCAA, the college universities, and the student players. You would have to do that. And the NCAA does not want to do this whatsoever. Remember, I just said collectively bargain. This subject is going to come up in the next topic, because the NCAA, college football, because of what has happened in the past and the transfer portal, name, image, and likeness, these television contracts, college football has outgrown the NCAA. The rest of the programs in college football, that's hockey and soccer and baseball and everything else, should fall under the NCAA. The college football should be stripped out of the NCAA, under the NCAA rule, and should just be regulated by a separate entity. And that's kind of, like I said, hinting at segment 2, because the NCAA just does not have the power. The universities need to come together and set these rules. Before, I think what the NCAA was hoping for was the government to step in, Congress to step in and kind of make a ruling to kind of save the NCAA. Then the NCAA could jump on this congressional rule and kind of regulate it through that. But the NCAA, the Congress is not going to regulate this. This is a college football, college sports issue, and it's not, they're not going to save them. There's not much that can be done. I personally think with the name, image, and likeness, if you want regulations, I think they need to come up, create a different organization, present a commissioner for that, and make the players paid employees. If you make the players paid employees, pay them a salary, give them benefits, give them health insurance, give them retirement or whatever, some type of pension, and regulate it that way, and then control, because what's going on is name, image, and likeness. It's not a, hey, Nike has gave me an endorsement deal. Most of these guys are getting money through boosters and conglomerates that are putting together for the to keep kids to come to their school. If you regulate it and get rid of these conglomerates, kind of like Deion Sanders has been talking about, most of these kids do not have endorsement deals. So make it so that if you did some type of regulation where you could get rid of the boosters and the conglomerates, give them a base salary that's uniform across the board, and then only allow endorsement deals, kind of like an NFL model, that would be a better approach than this whole wild, wild west, because then it's like, hey, you do have an endorsement. Hey, you do have this booster that's making hundreds of millions of dollars and $1 billion saying, hey, I want my alma mater to do well. So here's money, here's money,
Right.
here's money, here's money. And then some of these kids, their moms are working as their agent, or moms, their parents. Don't want to say moms. Their parents are kind of working as their agent, but they don't really have an experience. It's just like they're selling out for whomever gives them the most money. And it's not sometimes what's best for the kids. Some type of regulation should come in to kind of regulate it so that there's a program in place to protect the universities, but more importantly, protect the kids and put the kids which in the best situation possible. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny as we're talking about this, I just got an email that just came about this, about the Tennessee lawsuit already, because this is not the first time this has come up, but this will not be the last. You're going to see over the next few months how many other schools, or not really schools, but state attorney generals are going to start piling on to this lawsuit. This is just the start. This is not the end.
Yeah. Yeah, from what it sounds like, I don't see football, or I don't see football staying with the NCAA for
it shouldn't. It's you even from what you've seen recently since coming to this job, it is a snowball rolling down the hill, and that snowball is gonna crush the NCAA, and they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the Big Ten and the SEC, which kind of ties into what we're already talking about right now. But we'll see you in a little bit.
All right.